When making cables, sometimes mistakes happen and cables get crossed in the wrong direction, and there is a way to fix that without undoing rows and rows and rows of your work. So you can see here, this is what that cable should look like. So you can see this should come out and then come back in. And I can tell that there's something happening with this one because it doesn't quite do what it needs to do. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the pattern. This is a free pattern. It's the Cable Beanie by Molly Conroy Ungricht. I'm sure I'm probably not saying that right. And so I can tell that there's something happening in this section that isn't quite right. So what I'm going to do is identify a place within this pattern that I'm going to go to, and I think I'm going to take it down to here to see if that is where this correction is made. I can tell that there's 2 rows of purl stitches on each side, and so let's give this a shot. The first thing that you want to do is get above the issue in your work, which is where my needles are. So you want to work to that. And I'm actually going to back out some of these stitches. The other thing that I'm doing is on my pattern, I marked where I'm at. So I marked the row on where I'm actually at. And I think I can either undo the whole thing, but I think this side is actually right, so I'm gonna actually undo that. Sorry, I'm gonna get back here. Okay, so we're above the issue. Going to go one more here. So on my pattern here, I'm going to block out kind of where I'm at. So I have this cable, 2 purl stitches in. So I'm going to be working on this section. And I know that these purl stitches are there in my pattern. I have those, so I'm specifically going to be focusing on this. So we'll just block out that section. Now, as I'm working, I'm going to actually drop down those stitches. So I know that I have these 2 purl stitches, those are going to stay. And I'm just going to take these off and drop them down. So this represents this row here that I'm currently on. And I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I should have 8 strands of yarn, including this one. That's 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, so if we count these, we can actually count these in rows. So this would be 1, And then if you look at the where the yarn comes from on the next, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those stitches. And let's take a look here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this should represent this row here. So let's check that to make sure. So I should have 4 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, and then I should have 4, so it looks like. Either I haven't ripped far enough back. There we go. Okay, so that was the issue. I didn't go far enough over. So I had a little hidden purl stitch over there. Okay, so 4, 2, 2. And this matches up here. So I'm hopeful that this will be my column that I had an issue on. So the next thing that you're going to do is follow along with the pattern. So right now I'm going to be working on this row, and I'm just going to block out where I'm at so I can keep track. There's a couple ways you can do this. If you want to just work off of your extra needle, or you can get a double pointed needle on this end, that would work as well. And then take a look at your columns here and just grab the strand of yarn that's just above. That will be your row above. And we're going to knit. The other thing too that you could do is you could slide these onto your other working needle. So I should have 4 purl stitches. And then I have my cable. So this cable is leaning towards the left. And this is where it's probably helpful. I'm gonna put these back up on my regular working because I need my cable to do that. So this is going to go forward. And then to do these purl stitches, it's easiest if we get the yarn in front. So just move that yarn in front so that I can be in a position to purl. So I'm going to purl these 2 stitches. And then work the cable stitches, which are the knits. Okay. So this row is done. So then the next, I'm going to slide these back onto my working needle. Just to get back into the working position. Pay attention, you can kind of see that big gap there. That's how I know I've worked all the way and picked all of those stitches up, because really we're just working over 8 stitches. So I should have 8 stitches here. So 2, 6, 8. You can tell your sections by these big, huge gaps in here. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to this next one, which is purl 6, knit 2. Should give us on track. So again, you're going to pull this next strand that's just above, drop the rest, ignore that. And there should be enough yarn to do this because I've knit it before. And this last one's just a little short, but we got it. So that's this one completed. So I'm just gonna move my little sticky up, slide these stitches back onto the left needle, and get into position to do that again. And so what you will do is you will repeat that process on up to the beginning. And I'll show you how this fixes. Okay, so I have worked all of those ladders up along with the pattern. And so now I am back on track to work my working yarn. So all of those loops have been picked up. There's nothing stray back here, and I am back on track. And that is how you fix a cable. Thanks for watching.